Welcome to Hallow's Eve with
Anna
and Becca.
Sister,
Do you have a story to tell today?
I have the most spectacular story to tell.
And it's a secret topic.
Oh, it is a secret topic.
Oh my.
It is in a secret topic
How
day.
excited I am.
So, we've all heard of the Salem Witch Trials, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're familiar with them.
Uh-huh.
So, this rabbit hole that I was telling you about earlier,
Uh-huh.
I initially was going to make my secret topic over this grain fungus called ergot. And it was thought, it's been debunked now, but it was thought that this fungus that causes like massive like muscle contractions and psychosis and those types of things was causing people to run amok and, accuse people of witchery and black magic and murder a bunch of people, right?
Okay.
So that's what I was initially going to go for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But after I found out it was debunked and I was like, I think I want something a little more like for realsies set in the facts kind of thing for my first secret topic. Okay. So I'm just kind of scrolling through different literature for the Salem Witch Trials.
Mm-hmm.
And I come across this very interesting idea as a form of punishment that was used during the Salem Witch Trials.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is cool. So I look into it. Don't worry, we'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
And then I find out that this was only done for a single individual during the Salem Witch Trials. Only one person was ever subjected to this form of torture.
Oh.
So we're also aware of the fact that, for the most part, it was women who were being accused of witchcraft and sorcery and all of the things. And it's women who were being burned at the stake, buried or not buried. I guess they were buried in lakes. They were buried in the water, but drowned in waters, like bodies of water and those types of things.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
Let me introduce you to a certain man named Giles Corey.
Where have I heard that name before?
Oh, he's pretty popular in
Okay.
the Salem Witch Trials community.
Okay.
So Mr. Giles Corey was one of the very few men ever accused and convicted in the Salem Witch Trials.
Okay.
The Salem Witch Trials took place in Salem, Massachusetts, of course, makes sense, not Oregon, Massachusetts, between February 1692 and May of 1693. So a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of crazy.
Yeah.
More than 200 people were accused, 30 people found guilty, and 19 were executed by hanging. Well, Giles Corey was not.
Tell me, girl. Tell me.
Giles Corey was tortured to death after refusing to enter a plea deal. Okay?
Okay.
So we're going to rewind a little bit in this wonderful man's life.
Oh, my.
He was born in Northampton, Northamptonshire. Yeah, that's a mouthful. It is not in the U.S., by the way. It's not really known when he's born, but he was baptized August 16th of 1611, and we can just kind of assume that his birth date was similar to that. And also a lot of times people would consider their baptism date to be their date of birth because they are reborn as a man of Christ.
Right.
So there's really not any certainty as to when he made it to America, but there's evidence that he was here in the States as early as 1640. Throughout his years, he faced quite a bit of criminal charges. Mostly it was petty theft. He would steal like watches and wallets or whatever people would keep their belongings in back in the 1600s. Once he even fell asleep while he was on watch, and somebody had come and stolen a bunch of weapons out from under him. So, of course, it's his fault because he wasn't paying attention and he was asleep on watch. So, he's got a bit of a criminal record now. Well, despite all of this, he was an incredibly prosperous landowner. So this man was loaded.
Oh.
He also wasn't too unlucky in the marriage department, I guess you could say. He's had 3 wives during his lifetime.
Oh, wow.
Well, because he was a prosperous landowner, he also had indentured servants.
Okay.
And these individuals were not necessarily slaves. Not that maybe they were much of a step up from that, unfortunately. But indentured servants back then were either working for people to pay off a criminal record,
Or that.
or they were paying to be able to come to this country and be able to make a life for themselves. They would work for somebody who was wealthier than them, to
Well
say the
off,
least.
yeah.
Yes. And they would essentially work off their tab at whatever establishment this wealthier person deemed fit. And that's how they would kind of make their way back into America from whatever country they immigrated from. So in 1676, Corey was charged with the murder for beating to death one of his indentured farmhands by the name of Jacob Goodale. Jacob was accused of allegedly stealing apples from Corey's brother-in-law. When Corey happened upon this site, he apparently became so enraged that he picked up a stick and beat this man severely. 10 days later, yes, you heard me right, 10 days later, he finally said, "You know what? Let's get some medical attention for you, my man."
Oh, my
So
goodness.
after this man suffered for 10 days, he finally allowed him to seek medical attention. But by then, it was too late. And Mr. Jacob Goodall had passed on at that point. So corporal punishment was allowed and legal against indentured servants because these people didn't have any rights, essentially. So he was exempted from the murder charge in this accusation. He was, however, found guilty of using unreasonable force.
Okay.
So that was the charge that was brought up on him since he was affluent enough. So, we had a little bit of crazy. Our crazy came out a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward again a little bit to 1684. Corey's second wife had passed, and he married his third wife, Martha.
Do we know what happened to the second wife? How did she pass?
Oh, I don't know, probably old age. Because around the same time he married Miss Martha, this man was 80 years old.
Oh. Okay.
He was 80. He lived on this earth for 8 decades.
Holy smokes.
Well, on March 19th, 1692, a few years after they were married, Martha was arrested for witchcraft.
Martha.
This absolutely upstanding pillar of the community, Corey himself, believed the allegations. And he said, "Oh yeah, my wife is definitely a witch."
Oh gosh.
Okay? Well,
What?
karma came for this man.
Oh yeah, sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. On April 18th, let's see, a mere month after his wife was arrested for witchcraft, he was arrested for witchcraft.
Well,
And then at that point, he was like, backtracking a little bit. He backpedaled.
yeah.
Although he didn't. So this is the point where he refused to enter a plea deal.
Okay.
Okay. So some people think that he refused to enter a plea deal because he felt that the jury had already made up their mind that he was guilty. So in his mind, he's like, why do I enter a plea deal? They already think I'm guilty, so why would I waste my time, right?
Mm.
That was a belief that people had as to why he didn't. The real reason, more than likely, is if you do not enter a plea deal at this time in history, if you didn't, you were not able to stand trial. They could not hold court for you. Also,
What?
if you were not held to the law in a court, the government could not seize possession of your property and your assets and your estates. So, this being said, he was a prosperous landowner, right? So, why would he knowingly give up all of his property and all of his estates to enter a plea deal when he can say, nah, boo, I'm good. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, right?
Right.
Makes sense. So while he's in prison, I found this quote to be really funny. Another individual that he was arrested with accused Corey of being a wizard.
A wizard.
A wizard. And
You're
he
a
said,
wizard.
quote, I verily believe in my heart that Giles Corey is a dreadful wizard, for since he had been in prison, he or his appearance has come and most grievously tormented me. So, in other words, this man is saying that obviously Corey is a wizard because he has projected himself in the most grievous way possible to torment this man. That Corey honestly probably couldn't even care to know what his name was. So, this was allowed, right? For you to not enter a plea deal. It was legally allowed. I mean, it still is. Nothing's changed in that sense. But they had some legal loopholes because they don't want everyone just saying, yeah, nah, I'm not entering a plea deal, and people getting away with things, and then the government also not being able to seize their assets.
Okay.
So their loophole
Oh no.
was,
Oh no.
I don't know if I'm going to say this right, pinfortador. It is a French word, so I do apologize if I mispronounce that for anybody that does know how to properly speak French. But this was a method that the government used to convince people otherwise. Okay? This translates to a strong and hard punishment. On September 17th, Giles Corey was subjected to the torture of pressing.
Ooh.
What does that sound like to you?
It sounds like to me
Mm-hmm. What do you think that is?
what it sounds like. Pressing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they named it pretty well.
Like I feel like isn't that I mean there's a couple of things that they do. Isn't it like they put you in this thing that holds your body and then they start with your limbs and then your head is like last or something like that.
Not quite.
And like
At
it
least
just
not
gets
for this man.
tighter and tighter and then it just
That sounds torturous.
yeah.
Why'd you say it like that? Okay, so
Well,
I don't want you to be my torture master.
I watched this movie. I can't remember the name of it. I don't think we watched it together.
No, I don't think so.
I think it's something that my husband and I watched together, and he never watched scary movies. But
Yeah, that's weird.
it was about this weird island way back in the day, like this time, like 1600s.
1600s.
Yeah, and they were very religious community, and they put him.
So were the people in Salem?
They put the guy in this thing, and they it was made out of wood, except for the headpiece, I think, and they pretty much screw it in, until it's so tight.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do the same thing with your head until it's just like.
So that's kind of how it happened for Giles Corey.
If I remember it correctly.
I mean, that sounds right. It's like a vice press or a vice grip kind of thing. Well, Giles Corey version of pressing was, let's see, and it was very happily subjected by the sheriff, none other than George Corrin. So it kind of seems like as I was reading these things that the sheriff kind of had like a secret little like
dungeon,
like dislike for Mr. Corey.
Oh, I went a totally different.
You went
direction.
a totally different way. It almost seemed like the sheriff enjoyed subjecting him to torture.
Okay.
So,
oh my gosh.
Per normal procedure. Now, like I said, this is the only man in Salem that this has ever happened to.
So this happened to women too?
No. This is the only individual in Salem that this happened to.
Only human.
Yes. Not only that, this is the only person that this has happened to in America.
Okay, but at this time it wasn't America.
You're being facetious.
You're talking about the American lands.
Yes, North America.
Okay.
That's maybe even a little too broad. But yes.
Sorry.
So
go ahead.
This happened more often in other countries back in like what you would expect to be like ancient Roman times, Greek times, like Celtic, those types of things. I'm not exactly sure which places this happened in. I'm assuming France is a good option or a good suggestion, just based on the fact that the name
Did you say Celtic?
What's wrong with that?
You mean Viking era?
I was talking about a nationality of people.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like an era, because you were talking about eras and then you said Celtic and I was like, what? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna fight this woman. So I'm assuming this probably happened in what is now present day France time frame area, since the whole name is French.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not certain. I didn't look that much into it.
It might have just been like the settlers that were there. They were French.
Yeah,
Yeah,
possibly so. But per the normal procedure, Giles was stripped naked, laid prone, had heavy boards laid upon him, and then rocks or boulders would be placed on top of the boards in a, one may say, pressing fashion.
Oh my.
Corey was asked many times during his days of torment to enter a plea deal, and he responded with one thing and one thing only: more weight.
Oh, Nikes. Really?
Yep.
Oh,
I mean, at least according to the record. I wasn't there.
More weight.
He was like,
come
more
on,
weight.
bring it on. Bring it on.
Sometimes the sheriff, George Corrin, would even stand on top of the board and the rocks to add weight.
Is this what you want?
A witness stated, don't know who the witness is, don't ask me the name.
Okay.
Just a witness. Stated, quote, in the pressing, Giles Corey tongue was pressed out of his mouth. The sheriff, with his cane, forced it in again. Imagine being pressed so hard that your tongue just like erupts from your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And then the sheriff comes and just goes and jams it back in with his cane. That's kind of horrific.
He must have like lost his teeth too.
I mean, I feel like if you get pressed hard enough, your teeth would pop.
They're gonna they're gonna crack. They're gonna pop out. They're gonna. I know. I'm gonna have nightmares now. Oh,
you're welcome. There are many debates as to what his last words were, but it's most commonly decided that it was more weight. So this dude was metal.
Sheesh.
On September 19th, 1692, Corey died. So that's his story, but then a little bit about present day.
Okay.
Okay. Because you know, when you have a story like this, there's always some like shenanigans and some like, rumors
Right.
that go around.
Yeah.
So it's believed that he died in the field adjacent to the prison where he was being held in. This later became known as Howard Street Cemetery in Salem. There's really no exact grave or location marker as to his death or anything like that, but there is a memorial plaque for him near the Charter Street Cemetery.
Ooh, we gotta go there when we go to Salem.
So 3 days later, on September 22nd, 1692,
Mm-hmm.
his wife Martha, that was also accused of witchcraft, was hanged.
Okay.
It's also thought that the residents of the city at the time were so horrified by the gruesomeness
Mm-hmm.
of his torture that they reconsidered their actions. Okay? So
After they finished the job,
after they finished
not
the job.
during.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Great.
He was later absolved of the crime of witchcraft in 1712, but his wife Martha was not. Tell me how that makes sense.
Did you find anything about why they thought they were witches?
Nah, that wasn't where I was going with this, so I didn't look into that.
Well, I was just curious to, like, when they came and picked Martha up, he was like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah. You know,
Clearly, she's
okay,
a problem.
she was probably told, well, your husband, and then she'd be like, well, my husband is a wizard.
Mhm.
Wizard.
Wizard.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, she was probably like, you're pointing fingers at the wrong person.
You think so? Do you think she had that much pull back then, especially in the midst of the Salem witch trials?
Well, you have to think. Why would they give him such a horrible punishment?
I mean, what
Like-
else are you going to do in the 1600s?
Like, why didn't they give that to anyone else before? It's not like they were the first two that got pulled out, right?
Yeah, right. And he's definitely not the first one to not enter a plea deal. I'm sure. Anyway, he's not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So something caused. I mean, either that or Mr. Sheriff over there was just needed to get his rocks off on, his torture device.
Yeah, I don't like that sheriff too much.
Yeah.
So you know what's great about that sheriff?
Oh, tell me.
He died of cardiac related issues.
Really good. I hope
He
that
did.
his ass got haunted and they just
Karma
they
came
were
for him
like,
too.
Stop heart.
So there is a local legend that states the apparition of Corey walks through the graveyard when disaster is about to strike the city.
Ooh.
He was said to have appeared the night before the Great Salem Fire of 1914, which left over 18,000 people homeless.
Oh, man.
It is also said that the curse of Giles Corey runs in the sheriff's position in Essex County.
Oh, no. Do they all get heart attacks?
All sheriffs, starting with George Corwin, have resigned or died due to heart or blood-related ailments. Corwin died of a heart attack in 1696.
What?
The curse was supposedly broken in 1991 when the sheriff office was moved from Salem to Middleton.
They were like, we're getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's crazy though, isn't it?
That's insane.
Dude came back from the grave.
I 100% believe in that.
He got down to hell and Satan, and he said, Satan, I got a job for you and you're going to be proud of this one. And Satan said, you know what, my dude? You do it. You do it.
I mean, and honestly, it could just be like, you never know what he was thinking when in his last moments.
Yeah.
you know, he might have voiced more weight, but in his mind, he was like, I'm going to get you.
I'm going to get
like,
you.
you are going to pay, and the ones after you will pay. And that manifestation was so deep rooted from all the torture he'd been through that it just was.
Man, I don't know. He kind of strikes me as like a bit of a, maybe, I don't know, arrogant asshole.
Or maybe he was a Satan worshiper and he was like,
I mean, maybe he was
know.
a really gentle, kind man and history has done him wrong.
You never know.
Probably not.
Come on, Corey. Tell us.
No, stop. I don't talk to dead people. That's scary.
Okay.
So,
you know what's funny? Before I forget, I gotta tell you real quick. So, yesterday I went to drop some medicine off at my daughter's dad's because she's sick, and she comes running out and she's like, Mom,
of course,
I'm watching Sam and Colby.
Oh my God.
I know. And she's so my kid. So she's like, I'm watching Sam and Colby, and it's about this doll and this house, and I'm making Dad watch it with me. And I'm like, and then he looks at me and he says, yeah, I told her the only time spooky shit happened was when I was with you. And I was like, yeah, those things kind of come around us, don't they, sis? And she's just like, yeah. And then she runs back in. Okay, I'm sorry.
That was great. I love that. She's precious.
She is.
Well, that's my story of Giles Corey. I found it to just be really interesting because the two things, he was the only person on American soil to ever be tortured to death or tortured via pressing. And also, we don't really hear a lot about like men being accused and executed for witchcraft in the Salem Witch Trials. So I also thought that was really interesting that there actually had been documented instances where a man had been accused of witchcraft.
I think there were only 2.
There weren't very many.
Yeah, I think there were only like two men, I'm pretty sure, altogether. If I'm remembering correctly, who knows?
There's at least one.
I think that is extremely interesting. I wonder if you can find a photo to insert, like,
I don't know.
It looks like it has to be in a museum in Massachusetts, right?
It was in like the 1600s. They didn't have smartphones.
I'm saying they might actually have pieces of it or something like that they have so many museums there.
I don't know if people like really,
or it may have been taken out by the fire,
cared a lot about like
he
sketches and those kinds of things.
Listen,
he was a landowner though, so they do get a little more love from the government.
But sheriff guy probably had it in his dungeon.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I mean, we can definitely
see
look.
If there's a picture.
Yeah, we'll look.
See if we can insert something, you know, so people can use their imaginations and be like, oh my gosh.
I can probably at least find something that's related to him.
I think
maybe
that's so
if it's just the plaque in Salem, we can do that too. Just something for him.
Yeah. I think that's really cool.
His little chaotic life. Oh my gosh, I keep hitting my mic. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right, boo. Scare me.
Spooky time.
Spooky.
I don't know. That was.
I was like, because Corey wasn't spooky.
Yeah, that was kind of spooky.
All right.
Like just thinking about like the things that your body would do and go through during that vivid. Type of Oh, I got like a bubble in my stomach now.
Yeah, you're gonna make yourself itchy. Stop that.
Okay. Listen, we went to Spirit Halloween today. Which was really a failed attempt because she was at work all day and my husband was at work all day, and we went straight there.
And we were both exhausted.
And they were both exhausted, and they were not like in the Spirit Halloween mood.
We're not in the spirit of Halloween. That's a lie. Actually, I'm always in the spirit of Halloween.
Yes. Yeah. But no. Yeah. So, anyways, my body decides to react in different ways when today it was itching. Okay. I don't do clowns.
Mm-hmm.
And there were lots
Very
of
hard, no.
clowns.
Yeah, because clowns are scary.
And it's maybe very itchy. And I was just like, ah. So, yeah. And she was making fun of me for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, so I just wanted to share some of my spooky experiences.
Hit me.
And I have a lot.
Oh, I know.
So I have to kind of
Like top 3.
top 3.
Oh, were you thinking 1?
I'm just kidding. okay. I'll do one, you do one. And then we'll
Okay.
just
I mean,
do
mine
that.
are not as fun, but we can do that. I only have 2.
Because we just be hanging out with the peoples on
Have
Halloween. Come on.
Have we talked about the tall hat man?
We haven't. Let's do that. Okay, you tell that one real quick because you tell it the best.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's been a while. So, at one point, this lovely lady lived in like a little house that was set back from the road, and the front yard was like almost completely empty, like it was just grass until we got to the road, wasn't it? I don't remember the front yard as much.
It was like maybe 5 feet of like a very, very shallow ditch, and then there were some trees, I think, and
there was like a small line of
there
trees.
was like 50 yards of grass.
Yep.
And then we were living in like a trailer, like a regular sized trailer, because our house was down the road and we were rebuilding it from the house fire.
Yeah.
So, but right next, I mean, like maybe 10 yards south, on the south end of the trailer, was this deep creek.
Yeah, in woods.
So
like the entire backyard area of it was just woods, like pretty dense woods too. But yeah, on the south side of the trailer, there was a really deep creek. So we decided in our little, were we teenagers? But we were teenagers by then, weren't we?
Oh, absolutely.
And our
I was
angsty teenage
16,
selves.
You were 15?
Oh, God, yeah, we were teenagers.
Or
we were going to go be rebellious in the creek bed,
Mm-hmm.
the deep creek bed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we're like wandering our way through here. We kind of veer away from the creek at one point, and we climb under this barbed wire fence that's kind of rusty. So, you know, it's a little bit sus. You don't want to get cut on that.
I remember that exact spot too.
And yeah, and we get up and we're, you know, ambling along, and suddenly there's a shadow.
Wait, at this point though, we went up. We weren't in the creek anymore.
We had like gone up over the hill. Yeah.
Okay,
we were going up a hill a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're walking up this little hill, and there's a shadow. And I don't exactly remember the events that led to both of us acknowledging this shadow. I just remember that I saw a shadowy figure in the woods, and I said, yeah, every man for themselves, and I ditched her, and I took off running, and she fell.
Listen, I was bamboozled because you have never seen anything that I've seen.
And I got really scared.
Yeah, she was terrified. And it was funny because, like, first I just, like, had, like, this really, like, did you feel anything?
I
like,
don't
did
remember.
you feel darkness?
That was like 13 years ago.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't remember.
I remember, like, my chest is getting a little tight right now, like, thinking about it. Like, my chest got really tight and heavy, and I just knew something wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking down at my feet.
Yeah.
Because I do that. I'm weird. I look at my feet when I walk. And then
I do
look
too.
up, and
Prevents
I
trips.
see it, and I look at her, and she's looking, and then she turns around. She books it. But
I
like,
just took off.
But I swear, like, to me, it wasn't just a shadow. You saw more than a shadow.
I don't remember. It's been too long. I just remember looking up and there was just like darkness.
Yeah, it was
and you
very
could
dense.
see like almost like the silhouette of like a top hat, like Abraham Lincoln
Yeah.
style top
Yeah.
hat. And I was like, oh, heck nah.
Yeah, but it was
And I
really
booked it.
dense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like in broad daylight.
Oh yeah, it was not a shadow. I mean, it couldn't be explained by like a tree shadow. Like maybe we were hallucinating on like
At the
mushroom
same time?
spores.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, it was not a tree shadow. Like it was very much so like a human silhouette. It was
yeah.
the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
But it was really tall. Well, maybe it was because of the hat too, but it was like like 6.5, 7 feet tall. Like it was
towering.
It was huge. And like she said, she books it. Okay. And I turn around and I'm running. And then I trip. And I flop like a fish.
Yeah.
And when I say flop like a fish, I mean like I literally fall and I'm like trying to get back up, but like my nerves are shot. Okay, like this demon's coming after me, and my bestie's leaving me, and she like did one of these, and she like, she for real took a couple steps. And then she turned around and ran back and helped me get up because my body was just like, nah, you're gonna die.
I really had to contemplate if I valued you or me more.
I love you too because you figured it out.
Yeah, I came back.
She did. She came back. She held me up, and I did not look back. Like, I did not look back.
Bro, I was so scared.
But I felt it.
Yeah.
And we made it all the way home. Did we go to the other house? Or did we go into the trailer?
I don't remember. I feel like we ran to the other house because we didn't even want to be on that property anymore.
Yeah, so we went to my house that was
like down the road a bit. Not like maybe a block.
Yeah, but it like, I mean, you couldn't live there. It had so much smoke damage and it was like completely empty. And we felt safer in that haunted house than with whatever that was.
Whatever Tall Hat Man was.
Yeah, that was scary. That was scary.
No thanks.
And what's funny is that
nightmare.
is the only time you have like seen a spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was not my favorite. I don't wish to repeat that. I'm kind of happy living in ignorance.
Yeah. So that is that is a memory we will forever hold together. Cherish flopping like a fish and being saved. I don't know what I probably look like I was seizing or something.
Oh my
because
God. I don't
could
remember.
not.
I saw death. That's all I saw was death.
Did you see it when you looked back for me, or were you just like
I
tunnel
was
vision?
not looking. I
You were
may have
tunnel
seen
vision?
it, but my brain was like, "Nah, you don't see that."
You don't say nothing.
My brain saved me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I guess I'll start with the first house.
Okay, I only have 2 other stories, and they're very, very short. So
Okay, you want to share them real quick?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So you were here for this one. We were at, it was like one of my birthday party sleepovers we had, and we had one other friend there. And you'll remember who she is as soon as I tell the story.
No,
but
I remember.
I don't want to drop any names just in case. So we were laying there and we had just turned out the lights. We were all getting ready to go to sleep. And then I had a fish tank in my room. Suddenly that fish tank light started turning on and off. Like by itself. Usually when you hit the like off button on the back of the tank light, it would make like a very loud like sound, and it was not making a sound. It was just flickering on and off, and it did that multiple times. And then I feel like shortly after it stopped, like maybe 30 seconds after it stopped, we heard footsteps in the hallway. That very well could have been my mom or dad being like, why are they making noise? It's 1 a.m. Or it could have been the ghosty poo messing with my light. I don't know.
Yeah, but it wasn't. Remember, it wasn't an old man because before this started happening, I told you there was a younger kid there, like a younger guy. He was like a teenager, And then that happened,
Mhm.
and you were freaking out. You
Nah.
and her.
Nah.
And
I
I
don't
was just
do
like,
ghosty
it's
things.
okay. Like, it's not
She's
harmful.
just like chill with this stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, that ain't working right. I'm scared.
Listen, I'm not chill when I know and feel like it's like dangerous or it is out to harm.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's just chill little dudes trying to have a chill purgatory.
Or residual.
Residual.
Yeah. But like, yeah, and then I don't remember the footsteps.
I mean, I heard footsteps a lot, but I don't ever know because I sleep with my bedroom door closed, only child probs. But I don't ever know if it was like my parents or if it was some spooky boy walking down the hallway. I have no idea. It's not ever something that I wished to find out, so I just stayed in my bed. Then the other one was I was home alone during summer break and I had chores that I had to do during the summer, and I would frequently wait until the last second to get them done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like panic clean everything so I wouldn't get in trouble when my mom got home. And I was sweeping the kitchen, and I had set the broom back in the closet where it goes. I closed the door. I So that was an oversimplification of what I did.
Okay.
We had like this bar at the top of the wall where that had hooks on it where we would hang like the mop and the broom, and then we had like a really small like power vacuum that we hung up in there. And I went and hung the broom back up, but I missed it because I was being lazy and rushed because I procrastinated, and the broom fell, and I was like, oh. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and get that, but I have got to get the dishwasher started because the cycle takes like, I think it was like 45 minutes. And I was like, and my mom's going to be home in 50.
Oh, no.
So I was like, and that'll give me enough time to unload the dishwasher. So I was like running back over to do that. And when I had gotten back over there, like this broom made a very loud clatter. It hit the ground. I went back in there, and that broom was hung up nicely on the hook at the top of the ceiling where it belongs. And I just kind of, I opened that door and I was like, thanks. Like I said thanks like that. Like I was very scared.
100%.
And then I like slowly closed the door back, looked behind myself, and then went and sat down and watched TV again.
That's so funny. I remember you called me a couple times over the years when we were kids because you were scared.
There's a hair on my nose, and I keep scratching my nose, and it's not leaving. Yeah, there were a few times.
Yeah. And I don't remember like what happened exactly, but you know, there was a noise or something, and you were scared, but I don't remember any details, but it happened a couple of times when you were just like unexplained things.
I remembered another story, but this one might be longer.
Go for it.
You remember when we were having a sleepover at your house?
Oh,
Me, you, and another friend?
yeah.
We were in her bedroom. And it was known in her house that she had, there were a lot of bedrooms in your house growing up. It was like a 5-bedroom house, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, there were a lot of bedrooms. It was known that one particular bedroom at the back of the house was the demon room. For reasons that I'm sure the name explains. So we're being loud. We're running amok in her room at like 2 a.m, something like that. It was really late, and her mom comes stomping in there, and she like threw the door open, and she grabbed me and her friend, our other friend, put us in separate rooms of the house, left her in her room, and I got put in the demon room. I was so scared. I laid there like this all night for like the last 4 hours of the night, and I did not move. It was one of the longest nights of my life. I was waiting for a demon to grab me by the legs and pull me out of the bed.
That's so funny. And that's crazy because that room was mine
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
It was mine before the house burnt the
I
second
remember.
time. And yes, I
Mm-hmm.
said the second time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like,
A lot of
there's
history.
residual
Mm-hmm.
in there, but I mean, my house was haunted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was afraid to go in her house alone.
Yeah, she was. Oh my gosh. And it was funny because our other friend was not in the demon room, but she
Mm-hmm.
was terrified too because she knew it was haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when we went over to her house and all the haunty stuff
The ghosty stuff.
that happened over there?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't remember it that well.
Okay, so
I do remember when we were in the barn the one time, though.
what happened in the barn?
I don't know. We could just like hear things, right? Maybe I don't remember.
What barn? At her house?
Yeah, there's a barn in the backyard. I swear to you, there's a barn in the backyard.
I don't remember that. I remember. I
Whose
mean,
memory is better?
no. Listen, I have a horrible memory, but
I meant that
that's
as I don't think it's me right now.
no. Like I don't remember us going in there and hearing. Like I don't remember that particular thing.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so I clearly don't remember enough to tell the stories, so maybe you should take that one. Unless you don't either.
Okay, so her stereo.
As soon as you said that, I was like,
Go
I
for it.
remember.
Go for it.
I
Go
just
for it.
remember it like turning on and off, and then like the volume would turn up, and like the chain, the what is that called? The radio channels would change.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember from
And
that.
it would turn up really loud.
Yeah.
Too. Like really loud.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I was just like, okay, I don't remember how this happened, but I was like, I was told that, you know, if I put something on this, they could do left or right for yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And so we put a hanger because she had like a canopy. It was like a wire or not wire, a metal frame canopy that went over the top of her bed. So it was, you know, the rectangle around her bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it had like designs. And so there was a space about this big between the metal designs. And I put the hanger on there.
Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
And we would just go like this. We would take the hanger and we go like that. And then it would either hang like, and it was so weird because sometimes it would just like, and then it would like, it was crazy. So I guess in a sense, it was almost like a pendulum or like a Ouija board or something like that. And we were kids, so we didn't know that playing with things. Because I remember her saying that things got a little bit more intense over there. I think we opened up a doorway. I opened up a doorway.
Yeah, I was like, I don't talk to spirits. That is not my wheelhouse.
But that was a way for her to communicate too. And I wish I hadn't encouraged that because that like there's not a way to close that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't remember. She had said something about, I don't remember if this is accurate or if this was something else, somebody else. I feel like it was her who said that she saw her mom, but it wasn't her mom. Was that her?
I don't remember. I
Okay.
No, I don't. That's not sparking anything in my noggin.
Yeah, there's too many things. They all blur together for me.
Yeah, I know. You're active.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna do some of my personal, and a few of these happened when I was very, very young, and they were more so remembered and witnessed by any member of my family. We bought a house that was built, I believe, in 1920s,
Ooh. Yeah.
1920s, old farmhouse. And on 5 acres, and we moved there. And things started to get a little spooky.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty quickly after. Why am I adding e's at the end of everything? And
After.
why's?
Because you're just really excited.
I'm so excited. So after that, moving in, getting settled, things were getting a little interesting. One of which, we were a family of 6 at that time. And we came home in the evening. I don't remember what we were doing. We all came home. We went in, and there were candles lit in the kitchen, and they weren't burnt down at all. It was like they just had gotten lit, but there was no way anybody could have gotten in and out because everything was locked, everything was in place. And another thing, I actually just talked to my mom about this, and she was refreshing my memory because I have an awful memory.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was sweeping, and I think she said she walked away for a minute and then came back.
I feel like that's how I remember the story going.
She went to go pick
She walked away from the pile for some reason for a length of time.
Yeah, I think it was she had to come pick me up from Head Start.
Mm-hmm. You couldn't just, I don't know, walk home or drive home? What's wrong with you?
Gosh, why not? I don't know. And when she got back, there was a big pile of dirt that she absolutely knew she did not sweep up.
Mm-hmm.
That was added to the pile, and there was like old, gross ketchup packages in it, and cigarette butts, which nobody smoked in our house. And sometime after that, my parents wanted to add a dishwasher to the house because it was a very old house that was owned by
appliances.
a very, very old Indian medicine man prior to us.
Mm-hmm.
And he just did everything the old-fashioned way. So they cut out where we're going to put the dishwasher. Yeah. And they look back there, and there's cigarette butts and old ketchup packages and nasty dirts back there.
So it came from back there.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that was the old house. Now that house burnt down, 2001, 2002. I don't know. It was on Veterans Day. Anyways, that house burnt down. So we had to move for a little bit while we rebuilt. And, well, let's just say that the house was still haunted because it was on the land.
Yeah, they don't go away.
Yeah. So it was very haunted. And at that point, like, I wasn't experiencing things like I had when I was a little bit older. Like, I wasn't paying attention. I didn't, maybe I saw things, but I was just like, whatever.
You were a kid. So, like, did you actually, or was it your overactive imagination, like to your kid brain?
Well, I don't know. See, that's the thing.
Exactly.
I don't know.
See?
Yeah. So anyways, I believe I was 11, maybe 10. No, I had to have been like 10. I started seeing things. I started feeling things. And one of which I woke up in the middle of the night. That's when my room at the time was the demon room.
The demon room.
Okay. And by the way, it was a beautiful light petal pink with like roses on the wall. And it was
very pretty.
It was like not a demon room, but it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The paint doesn't make the demons go away.
Yeah, but you would like look at it and be like, "Oh, how quaint."
Isn't that how a lot of horror movies start?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We have our answer.
So, anyways, I remember waking up. I had a day bed, and so I was looking straight at the other wall. I woke up, and I saw a woman, and like it was like a white gown or like a white nightgown, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And she had long hair, like long. It was like dark hair, and she was just like staring. But she wasn't like, she was like turned. She was like this. She was just like,
What was she staring at?
I don't know.
Was she keeping you safe?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'm gonna vote yes on that.
So when I got older,
Mm-hmm.
I was like 16. It was after the second house fire. And my room was no longer the demon room. I was in
She upgraded.
I was in what used to be my little brother's room. But now it's mine, and it's also a soft petal pink.
Oh yes.
Yes. Anyways, I'm sleeping like a log, and when I say like a log, I mean like I sleep through alarms and I don't hear nothing. I'm dead to this world. My
Yes.
brother would have to come in there every morning to get me up for school by
This is true.
turning on the lights, turning like the fan off or putting the fan directly on me, ripping off, like it was just it was hard work for him.
The amount of times he would get on the bus in the morning on the second round and be like, Rebecca would not get out of bed. That's why I'm late. Almost every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he goes in there to wake me up because my alarm is blaring. And when I say blaring, I mean like I had speakers connected.
Mm-hmm.
It was blaring. I was dead asleep. He goes in there, and there's a woman in a white gown with long dark hair sitting next to me in what looks like he couldn't see a chair, but she was like sitting and like rocking, like she was in a rocking chair. And she went shh and pointed at me, and he was just like, okay. Closed the door and left.
For me. I'd
Like,
be like, all right,
like
I'm out.
he was like, she was pretty much like saying she needs their sleep. Leave her be. And he got the message. He was like, okay. Yep.
Not his problem anymore.
The thing is, I didn't sleep very much when I was a kid. I slept better during the day, and it wasn't because of any of that kind of like ghosty stuff. At first, yes. I had a hard time sleeping from off and on from like 10 to, I would say 12 and a half, because I didn't know how to handle it. I was freaked out. And we lived in a haunted house. It like to the point where they didn't like it when me and my brother were gone. At this point, it was just my parents and me and my little brother, because my older siblings have moved out. And so any point when we were both gone, like when we were at church camp or when he was at Boy Scout camp, and then I would come stay with you during the weekend, every time we were both gone, the fire alarms would go off. And because we've had 2 house fires, both of my parents, they jump up and they're looking around and they're making sure everything's...
That's not something you ignore anymore.
Right. And then, they get it off. They lay back down. They fall asleep. It goes off again. And that happened for years until we moved out. And then after we moved out, like both of us, when I moved out first. my mother said that they went off for a while
Mm-hmm.
when I was gone, when I moved out.
Yeah.
And then the same thing when my brother left, when
Mhm.
he moved out. But then it just stopped.
I guess they decided you had gone on your own way.
I guess. But they did not like it when we were both gone. It was like, hey, we're missing some people here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's get with the program.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there's that. And I would also like to bring up my house in downtown. That house.
That house also gave me the heebie-jeebies.
That house was also okay. Well, I also have to say, like, part of that was my fault, but okay, two parts of that was my fault. Okay, and that land over there is for sure just like there's roamers,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, the before I moved into that house, I stayed at my parents'. Did I just get a lisp out of nowhere?
I don't know. I don't
Hold
pay
on,
that close of attention
I'm
to the
gonna
way
get
you
a
say
drink.
things. I just love you for who you are.
I think so.
Yeah, and meanwhile you make fun of me for saying theta.
Stop. Okay. Anyways, I need you to listen to see if I have a lisp because I feel like I don't know what's happening.
It sounds like you're singing pretty well.
Am I good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so. Just leave your tongue in your mouth.
Okay. So anyways, I stayed at my parents' for about a week. And I was in the tub. And this is a really weird place for this to be happening, but I was in the tub at their house.
Mm-hmm.
And
The one in your bathroom, that really nice deep one.
yeah, the one that connected to my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I got out of the shower and or out of the tub. And I'm trying to remember. I think that I don't remember exactly how it happened, but anyways, there was a male spirit, not harmful whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I let him come with me to said new house.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did. And he was chill. He was pretty chill most of the time. And I really couldn't tell you if it was him that kept locking the bathroom doors.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
That happened at our Halloween party too. And my birthday party.
Yeah.
So it was like his favorite pastime.
Mm-hmm.
Just locking the bathroom door. And we had to like break into the window to unlock it.
Yeah, we had to go outside the house, exit the house, break in through the window that was in the bathroom, crawl through the window, and unlock the bathroom door that way.
Yeah, that happened several times.
Many
when I lived
times.
there. And then we had like a half bath in the hallway.
I remember that.
That bathroom was locked for like a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because
there
we
was
had
no window.
no way to get it unlocked.
Yeah.
And that was the only time that that one was locked.
He probably realized he done messed up.
Oh, man. I don't remember how we ever got that opened. Maybe it was maintenance. But, like, for real, that was closed. That was locked for, like, a year.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then the scariest thing I would say that ever happened there was my husband and we converted the living room into our bedroom at that time because I had my son.
That. Mm-hmm.
And we were in there. Yeah, I think we were like watching a show or just talking or something. We heard this huge crash. And we went into the kitchen, and at that time, I had like a cookie sheet with like cutting boards on top of it, on top of the microwave, because there was not a lot of like cabinet space.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like on the other side of the kitchen. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, well.
And my husband's just like, you need to tell your friend to calm down. Like,
I can't tell them what to do.
I'm
they
like,
do their own thing.
Yeah. So, and then there was, I had this, I didn't do this on purpose, but I guess you could call it a form of poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
Where at this time, I had a lot of like unresolved trauma. I had a lot of things I needed to work through.
Yes.
And it was all pent up, and I was just like all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that turned into an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
It turned into this very dark, scary thing that like was separate than me, but it was all of that built up like anxiety and pain, and I had to figure out how to get rid of that because it was starting to mess with my daughter, who at the time was, when it started, she was like a year and a half old. And I had to get rid of that, but it was really bad. Like it was waking her up in the middle of the night. It was scaring her. Like she would like point, and I'm just like, and I like, honestly, like it was so dark and scary, but it's like I didn't know what it was because I've never experienced something like that before. And when I figured it out, I had a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I did. And it's only come back a couple of times since then. That was like, oh my gosh. Like 10 years ago. 11.
Well, your child isn't that old yet. Like 9 years.
Yeah, she was born 12 years ago.
How was she born 12 years ago when she's turning 11 this year? Answer me that one.
Because we're not in China, honey.
What in the hell are you talking about?
So when a child is born in China, in certain places, when they're born, they are one. Therefore,
you just said that it was 12 because she was born 12 years ago.
Yeah, so it was 11 years ago. 10 and a half years ago.
No, oh, I do not agree with your math at all.
Okay, listen. It
makes no sense.
All I'm saying is it takes 12 months to become one. She was born 12 months prior to that, so she was alive for an entire year.
Yeah, and that makes her 1 year old because she's been alive for 1 year.
But it happened a year ago. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
I don't think we're understanding each other.
Okay, we're born 12 months later. That's a year old.
Yes.
But they were born a year ago.
Yes. I still don't understand how you're saying she was born 12 years ago.
Oh my God.
Doesn't make any sense. She was born in 2014. 2013, my bad. She was born in 2013. It is 2024. That was 11 years ago. Not 12.
11.
Correct. 11.
I need to get some rest.
Oh my gosh. I'm glad we figured that out.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Please cut that out.
No, I'm for sure leaving that.
Better cut that out.
Definitely leaving that.
I feel so
It's okay.
stupid.
It's okay.
Anyways, what I was saying after our little math lesson by Becca and Anna. Oh, God.
Stay in school, kids.
God. Okay, I'm getting toasty.
It is getting toasty in these robes.
Okay, I don't remember what I was saying.
Your child was like 1.5 years old when this happened, and it's happened a few times since.
Okay, yes. So she was about 1.5. It happened a couple times since, but I've had a pretty good handle on it for the past like 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't
I'd say
had
so.
a reoccurrence or a reappearance, I guess I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember when I was a teenager and there was like a black figure walking in my room, and I wonder if that's what it was, because it wasn't anything that was anything, if that makes any sense. Like, it was never alive.
I'm following. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So,
And given the time frame, I think that adds up pretty well.
yeah. So okay, before I have some other stories, but I guess I could share some of them like next year or something. I have one that's lighthearted.
Okay, I think we could use that.
Okay. So, like I said, when I was a teenager and a youngster, I had a lot
Youth.
I had a lot of like heartaches. Like, I just, you know,
Any angsty teenager?
like, I'm not gonna say that I had a horrible childhood or anything like that, and I didn't. I just had bad experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And those kind of stuck with me, and it caused me to have a hard time sleeping, to the point to where I would just lay there and I would just pray.
I thought this was supposed to be lighthearted.
Listen.
This is making me sad.
Listen.
Okay.
I would lay there and pray, and I just couldn't fall asleep because I was just so uncomfortable. Like, I just couldn't calm myself.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, there is a bathroom door, and it was open. I don't know why I left it open. It was open.
The one that went into your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. I'm picturing it.
It was in my bed, and this light came into my room.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing is, I cannot explain the color. It was the closest thing is blue.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't.
But also white.
Okay.
Like, I can't explain it. So it was round, but there was like, it was like blue and white. But it wasn't blue. I don't know how to explain it.
But it also wasn't white.
It's never a color I've seen ever. Not at Lowe's paint colors. Like,
we know they've got a lot of them.
Yeah. And it spoke. But it was like, it was like I didn't hear it with my ears. I heard it in my head, like I do, like with
yeah.
Stop. Come here. Got you.
You pinched me. Oh my god, is that the hair that's been on me this whole time?
I got you. I saved you.
Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Anyways, it said, it's going to be okay. And when it spoke, it like, I don't know how to explain it. It like got brighter and like dimmed. I don't know how to explain it. But this thing was so bright, but around it, you couldn't see the light off of it. Like, it was the most weird experience I have ever had, but it was honestly the best.
Did it fill you with warmth?
Yeah, it did.
That sounds really nice.
And it gave me comfort that I needed, and I've always thought that that was God. I've always thought that. I've never doubted that.
I'm really happy that your light ball brought you peace.
Yeah.
I said it like that, but I'm being sincere.
No, I know. So like that was probably my most favorite paranormal, I guess you could call it, experience. But it's more spiritual.
Yeah.
I would say, and it was a great comfort.
Yeah, that sounds serene.
It was awesome. Yep.
So, I want to backtrack really fast before we end
Okay.
to the very first thing you talked about with the candles coming on when you guys came back home.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like almost like a welcome party to me, where they're like welcoming you home.
Yeah.
And like right before it really gets started, you know, from the years to come.
Yes.
It just kind of seemed like a welcome home. Are you ready for the shenanigans?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That's kind of what that seems like to me, especially since I experienced some of that too.
See, that's really funny because like it was I was little.
Mm-hmm.
I was really little. But it always felt like lighthearted
Mm-hmm.
at the house until it didn't. But like it was like
Yeah.
it was gentle. It was helping.
Mm-hmm.
It was cleaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was cleaning.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Like really old debris too.
yeah, like let's get this cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. But yeah, welcoming, and that had to have happened not too long after we moved there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, hello, welcome to my home.
Welcome to my house. Are you ready for the games?
You know, interesting fact.
Mm-hmm.
The Indian medicine man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That lived there before that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's the one that built the home.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like I said, it's an old farmhouse, and he grew corn. And he made like corn oil and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he also sold moonshine, which was illegal.
Oh, yes.
So I always wondered why every step, well, okay, not every step, but I think it was like halfway up, they stopped opening, but they opened the steps. Our staircase, our long staircase, the steps opened.
Outside?
No, in the house.
Okay, I was like, I don't think I ever experienced this. That's why, because it was in the house.
Yeah. And that's where he hid his moonshine that he was selling.
Don't you love it? You gotta love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like making deals with people in town, like old timers.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it's so funny because one of the old timers, he died maybe 6-7 years ago. He was old. He was such a sweet gentleman.
Like 6-7 years ago from today's time?
Yeah.
So was he like 120?
He was old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But like this timing, like so the he was born in the 40s.
Oh, the old timer that passed.
No. Yes, the old timer that passed. And so he would make deals with these men in town that was running companies like, you know, seed companies and stuff like that. And he would give to them to help distribute said moonshine.
Just a whole business.
A whole business.
I love that.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That house was built in 1917. Nope, that was my grandpa's house. Sorry. That one was 1920s.
You're the original house you moved into? Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what you said at the beginning.
Yeah,
That's
1920s.
the date I had in my head.
Yeah, almost as old as my grandpa's house that
yeah.
he had. Yeah. Dang.
Well,
It's spooky in here.
it is spooky
It's
in
spooky.
here.
It's Halloween.
It is. I don't think we even said that yet, but happy
This
Hallows
is
Eve.
Halloween.
The spirits are out and running amok.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we never even went into like Halloween culture, like nothing like that, which you don't
No, we
need to
didn't.
know. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us something to talk about next year.
Yeah. Come
in
on.
1 year.
Put it
Stay tuned.
Put it put it in the comment below for Hallows Eve 2025.
2025.
Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we got our spooks on. We got our little cult robes on. Sister.
Sister.
I think that calls it tonight.
I think it shall.
It is the witching hour.
It is. Now that you mention it.
Let's
I hear the
go
call.
on a moonlight ride on our brooms.
Did you find parking for your broom?
No, did you?
I didn't. They still haven't solved that issue.
Dang.
Okay. Well, as always, thank you everybody for watching, especially if you made it this far to the end of our video. If you have any question, comments, or concerns, leave them down in the comments.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Hallows Eve.
Bye.
Bye.